in and out of the aircraft. Those are the handling companies. They also clean the lavatories and all that. And part of their job includes to also assist persons with reduced mobility. So the laws were already there. It's just that it was not activated. And true to type, by the grace of this God, through this work, all airports in Nigeria activated their persons with reduced mobilities desk. Meaning that in all airports in Nigeria today, FAN and NCAA, in fact, NCAA has a consumer protection unit, where if a person with disability is ill-treated, you can actually go there and report. But truth be told, there are challenges because these sections of the airport are not equipped. So we still have to go through manual lifting of persons on wheelchairs. The albinos still have to struggle because there are no umbrellas to cover them. The deaf roam, about at the airport because nobody to guide them. Ditto for the blind. And every other, even the mentally challenged, our colleagues with other mental disabilities have difficulties surviving within the airport. Consistent advocacy has kept our eyes on the ball. And we have kept getting a lot of commitment. I'll quickly round up by saying that we are not where we want to be, but we're definitely not where we used to be because this is a work in progress. We thank the Commission for this day because what the ES had promised us is coming to pass. Because he said to us that the desk will be taken over by the Commission. So hopefully now all airports in Nigeria will have a disability desk. This is great news for us. I will plead with President Bola Tinubu. Please, cameras, I will need you to record this and amplify this. The Commission is being funded by 0.4% of the Nigerian budget. It is an aberration. You don't commit only 1 billion. I think I'll wait for...
No, continue, sir.
Continue, sir. 1 billion naira out of a 28 trillion naira economy is an aberration. I don't want to use stronger words, but please, Mr. President, we are begging. We persons with disabilities are not beggars, but we are now saying, we're using the word, please, sir, in the midterm budgetary allocation. What's that thing called? MTEF, right? Midterm expenditure framework. Can we have at least 1 trillion naira for persons with disabilities? Yes, it is international standards. 15% of your population, World Health Organization, says you are persons with disabilities. And in Nigeria, it is going to be more. We have accidents as a result of bad roads, which is, I'm a victim of one. We have insurgency going on every day, and we are producing more persons with disabilities. We can go on and on. The economy is making people mentally challenged and other types of challenges. Things are really going bad. So there are more numbers of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. 1 billion naira cannot take care of 30 million of us. It cannot. It cannot. It is the gospel truth. Something happened last week here in Nigeria. If the commission was well funded, a Lagos desk of the commission would have been there to take charge of affairs. Yes, we have Lasoda, but I know how I communicated with the commission and certain challenges, and these are the things that we should not be crying about. Much as we know this is supposed to be a handing over ceremony for. It is important to state this, and it is the honest truth. We thank President Buhari for signing this act into law and for creating the commission. And we thank President Bola Tinubu too for sustaining the commission. But we want him to do more by allocating resources to the commission and even the office of his SSA. That office of his SSA has zero funding. It was not included in 2024 budget. We are persons with disabilities. We're not persons without abilities. Give us what we need and we will show you how we can perform. We drive on three things: courage, opportunities, responsibilities, and empowerment. Let us move away from advocating, because we are no more at the level. Advocating will not. We are now in the period of action. And I believe that the president will hear us and make amends. Because 15% of your population, you are denying yourself. The government is denying herself of 15% increase in her gross domestic product. Because if we empower 15% of us, we will contribute more to the GDP and the national growth will be bigger. Let me round up by saying thank you so much, Executive Secretary. You have done a great job. You are doing a great job. We know your challenges and we will keep supporting you. Thank you for welcoming us. And I hope, can I go straight and do, please help me. We have a lot of milestones we achieved. That's the Accessible Innovation report. It's inside the report, we have the milestones we achieved. I just mentioned one, which is having to note whether a person with disability when traveling, so that the handling companies can assist you. But the handling companies today do not have deaf interpreters to assist you at the airport. So when you arrive at the airport, they don't know how to assist the deaf. Yes, sir, please, can we send 3 in every Nigerian airport? Let us have 3 staff of the commission manning the disability desk. I am. There are other things there, but yes, sir, you read through. We have equipment too. Stair climbing wheelchairs. Can we do that now?
Yeah.
Please, Abdul. Please, raise it. There are stair climbing wheelchairs here for people on a wheelchair. That one is the manual one. This one is the manual one. This one is the electric chair. It's powered by a battery. It glides up and down the staircase. I think, Dimas, you have a clip of this? Yes. And then this is the manual one. Knowing the kind of country where we are in, this one too, lift it up. That's the manual chair. This is symbolic. We also have the ambi lift at the airport, which is like a surface lift that goes up and down. The lift has been there. We need support to also make that functional. We have other things, other wheelchairs and many other things at the airport, of which we'll need a staff of the commission, sir, to liaise with us so that we'll go to the airport and do the proper handing over of all the other equipment at the airport. Funded by Voice, Oxfam in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your attention, and may Nigeria continue to be great.
Do you have that resources and the manpower to handle this?
Thank you so very much. Especially as we earlier said, what happened in Lagos, the airport just recently about caves. It's a very, very terrible experience. As a person with disability myself, we experience discrimination in different scenarios. As a business outfit, as caves, KFC is an international business house. They should know better. These organizations have to know that the rights of persons with disabilities, as they respect in the America, as they respect in the United Kingdom, they are supposed to respect the rights of persons with disabilities also in Nigeria and everywhere they have office to operate. I have been a customer of KFC in different parts of the world when I travel. We see how they behave, but their behavior in the airport was very terrible. So we swam into action immediately. Our Lagos office, the Lagos State Office for Persons with Disabilities, LASUDA, which is an institution of the Lagos State government, we collaborated with this office immediately. And the GM went to the airport with immediate effect and to make sure that we insert our authority as institutions that protect the rights and dignity of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. I'm sure the Federal Airport Authority have reacted so positively at that. But right now, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities have invited the AFC management. We are expecting their appearance in our office tomorrow, Thursday, and we are expected to begin the proper investigation. Based on the powers vested in us to protect the rights and dignity of persons with disabilities, we are going to dig deeper with KFC to find out the root cause of this problem, and we must review all their policies and make sure that they align with the provisions of the law and the regulations that are here in Nigeria for the protection of the rights of persons with disabilities. Today, we are taking over a project by KIAS where we made the initial commitment to the sustainability of this project. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities will deploy our personnel into the Nigerian airport to provide the necessary support for persons with disabilities. A little number of personnel we have may not be able to cover all the airports, but we are going to start with some of the major airports to deploy our staff. We train them, provide the sign language interpreters, and everything there in all our respective airports. We are writing to the Federal Airport Authority so that we can have a mutual meeting. So that from the mutual meeting, we are now going to secure the appropriate spaces in the airport where we will deploy this our staff to go into these places so that they can man the necessary airport, provide the necessary assistive devices that are needed for easy movement for persons with disabilities in our airports to make sure that accessibility to the airports truly comply with the provision of the law and comply with the provision of the national accessibility regulation. Enforcement is ongoing, and we are going to do everything possible to make sure that public institutions like this provide the necessary accessibility for persons with disabilities in their respective institutions. We have already started that for the health. Our last meeting with the Minister for Health was very encouraging, and we are going to make sure that we move for it. This week, we are expected to meet with the Minister for Education to make sure that access to schools, right from primary to secondary to tertiary institutions for persons with disabilities are provided. Additionally, all other relevant sectors, we are requesting for maximum cooperation to make sure that we fulfill the ambition of His Excellency President Bola Tinubu in providing opportunities for persons with disabilities in Nigeria. The maximum cooperation by ministers, heads of agencies to provide opportunities for the disability community. We are ready to cooperate. We are ready to partner with them to make sure that we enforce the provision of this law. Our partnership with the private sector have already started yielding fruit. The Unilever, when you go to Unilever, you go to MTN and different other sectors that are part of our coalition for the private sectors on access to for persons with disabilities in the workplaces. Today is yielding results. MTN have already started providing employment for persons with disabilities. Unilever and Access Bank, one of the most important institutions today in Nigeria, is providing opportunities for persons with disabilities. We expect KFC and other major private sectors to key into this our initiative. This year we are going to have our annual conference in Lagos, where all of these private sectors are coming together, where we will brainstorm together again to look into all the relevant laws, relevant opportunities for access to inclusion for the disability community.
Thank you.
Okay, the project is Accessible Aviation Project, and it's about making life easy for persons with disabilities at the airport. The whole idea behind it is that when people with disabilities arrive at the airport, they should have a desk where people who understand their peculiar needs can attend to them, with good responses. Because it is one thing to respond, it is another thing to use the appropriate language when responding. Because the airlines, we commend FAN, we commend SCAA, we commend all the handling companies, we commend all the airlines. They're all doing a great job. But you see, nothing about us without us. It is when we are now integrated into the whole system. That way, there will be a synergy and everybody, it's going to be a win-win for everybody. And the reason why the commission is taking it over, it was funded by an NGO, it has a timeline. And when the Voice and Oxfam funding got to the end of the project, it's a good project, we believe so, and that is why the commission is taking it over now, because it is a matter of necessity now, not just a project that has, it's not a walk in the park kind of project, it's a project that should stay.
When did it commence?
It started in August of 2021. So technically, it's rounded up in February of 2024. But because of the work that is being done, because we can't just pack our things and leave, the project has since been on till date, as we speak.
Okay, looking at the key issue raised here about funding. You raised issue about funding, that the commission needs to be funded with about 1 trillion in naira. That's what it says. With this funding, are you seeing this project going to be sustained and other projects will come?
Beyond this project, funding is important for the lives of persons with disabilities in Nigeria. If we have a 28 trillion naira economy, 10% of 28 trillion is 2.8 trillion. So if we ask for 15%, that's almost 3 trillion. So asking for 5%, we have not even scratched the surface. This is 1 trillion is far less than 5%. But what are we trying to say? People with disabilities need accessibility. Accessibility is not just about a ramp, being able to climb into a building. Accessibility means being able to enter a bank and do banking things. Accessibility means being able to go to school. I have had cases, I have experienced it in Nigerian universities where I had to deliver lectures on a second or third floor and they had to carry me. Accessibility means being able to go to the hospital, right into the hospital, and a deaf woman can communicate with a doctor. A deaf pregnant woman should be able to communicate with the medical personnel there. Accessibility means so many things. So if the commission is well funded, they will be able to get the personnel that will do all this work. The commission is, they have good people here, well-trained staff who can do this work, but there are more trained staff out there who also need to be paid salaries to be able to deliver. And I tell you one thing, disability comes in various ways. For those of us sitting here, we have acquired disability. And everybody watching me at home today, whether you like it or not, when you get to the right age at some point, you will acquire this disability. So the earlier we all work together now to make sure that life for persons with disabilities is good and acceptable to world standards, the better for all of us. Because whether we like it or not, it can happen at any time. You know my story. It was an accident that put me here. People go blind every day. People go deaf every day. People get on the wheelchair every day. So we all need to work collectively to make sure that this system works because it can be anybody.